Hi Amber, how are you doing?
Doing well, and you, Dr.
Doing
Reddy?
okay. I've got your tea sitting here for you just the way you like it.
Thank you, Dr. Reddy.
And here are some M&Ms if you feel like grabbing a little snack. Okay, so last week you were supposed to attend a couple of AA meetings. Were you able to do that?
Yes, I met you 3.
Okay, well that's quite a progress since this is our 4th session, is that right? Yeah. Okay, so you made 3 meetings. Well, tell me how they went. What did you learn?
At first, I was uncomfortable being around all those people, but then it made me realize I wasn't alone in my problems. In fact, I made a new friend named Leanne who gave me her phone number and told me to call her every time I felt tempted to drink.
Wow, that's great. So her name was Leanne? Okay.
Yes.
Is she about your age?
Yes.
Oh, well, that's awesome. Well, that's what's really great about these meetings. You can go and you can meet other people that are struggling with the same things you are and have the same addiction, and you can call each other and talk about it and kind of have a friend there. So it's really great to hear.
No doubt about that. I thought I wouldn't like to go to meetings, but they are helpful and they make me feel good about myself for making me get up and go.
Yeah, for making that effort, right. That sounds really nice. Well, tell me, were you able to cut back on your drinking?
I did cut back a lot, but every time I get bored or tired of watching CJ, I feel like going to have a drink to unwind and help me relax. I go to the bar, though. Brian told me not to. I just manage to hide it somehow, even when he gets back from work. And sometimes I even might pull out a cigarette or even weed and smoke it up at the bar.
Okay. Well, I appreciate your honesty. You tell me if I'm wrong about this, but it sounds like you're telling me that every time you feel stressed out or CJ's kind of giving you a hard time, as toddlers often do, that you're kind of trying to escape the situation by turning to alcohol or marijuana.
Yes, Dr. Ray, that's exactly how I feel. And usually I light up a cigarette or a joint if I have one while I sit and drink at the bar.
Okay. Well, last week you told me that you wanted to come get some counseling so that you could totally stop drinking and smoking. Now you're telling me that you want to stop and you're setting a good goal, but you keep going back to the bars. Now that's going to bring you back down. Do you kind of see the contradiction that's going on there?
Well, I hadn't thought of it as being a contradiction, but I can see where you might get that idea.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'm glad to see that you realize that is a contradiction, because it shows that you're making some progress, just by realizing what's going on.
Okay.
Now, you said last week that your feelings of depression started right after you had CJ. Did you know that it is very common for women after having a child to go into feelings of depression? The reason why it's so common is because there's changes in the hormone levels in the body, and when women give birth to a baby and are having to nurse, and all these different things affect the hormones, and so a lot of times women do get very depressed. And also it's difficult learning how to be a mother. You've got to change diapers all the time and feed them, and you went from having all this freedom to yourself to just totally having to watch your child every minute of the day, and especially at that age, And so it's very common to have depression. Did you know that?
No, I did not know that.
Okay. Well, do you think that perhaps you could be drinking and smoking to suppress some of those feelings of depression?
Yes, I think that is probably why I started drinking and smoking.
Okay. Well, I really appreciate that honesty, Amber. So let's talk about the marijuana for a minute. Now, since marijuana is illegal, and you knew that it was illegal, right? What do you think the outcome would be if you were smoking marijuana in a bar, just having a typical day, and suddenly a police officer walked into the bar, picked up that you were, smoking marijuana, and caught you with it and arrested you?
Well, that would definitely upset Brian a lot. I never really thought about it in those terms. I honestly thought that I would was more likely to get caught buying the marijuana than smoking it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's also another excellent reason to discontinue using it. Would you agree?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Dr. Reddy.
Okay, now I know that you said last week you want to be the best mother that you can be and the best wife that you can be. And using drugs and drinking and hanging out at the bars, that's going to keep you from those goals that you have set in your life. Would you agree with that?
Yes, I would agree with that. I want to get rid of them both.
And get rid of them both. Okay, fair. So let's try and figure out some positive changes that you can make this week to help you stay on track and to help you avoid feelings of depression. Amber, tell me some things that you enjoy doing during the day.
Well, I like to get my hair and nails done, but
Yeah.
now that I've had CJ, he gets into everything and I can't take him anywhere. You know how it is with kids.
Yeah, at that age, they start exploring their environment and they're just a handful, yeah. Well, maybe it wouldn't be the very best idea to bring him if you were going to say, go get your nails done or get your hair done. Now, didn't you say last week that his grandparents were available to watch him occasionally?
Yes, they always offer to help keep him whenever I need. I just feel like he'd be so much trouble for them.
Okay. Well, typically grandparents, especially if they're retired, they don't really consider it to be trouble. They actually enjoy watching the grandkids and getting to have a child to play with and to teach things to, and I think they really enjoy it. Do you see any serious reason as to why they would not want him to be over at their house?
I guess I can see now why they would enjoy it.
Okay. Well, I'm sure they'd love to have him, so why don't you just try letting them keep CJ a few times this week. Call ahead and say, hey Grandma, can you watch CJ tomorrow, from 12 to 2? I want to go to a meeting and I want to get my hair done. And that way you could communicate with her ahead of time. And you could do something healthy and something fun for yourself. Getting your hair done, that's fun, and it'd be something you could enjoy instead of going back to the bars and just pulling yourself down.
Yes, I need to go back to Wednesday night Bible study also. You had suggested that last week, but I didn't make it there last time. But I do have some nice friends there that I enjoy being around.
Okay, well that's another great thing you can do this week is maybe try to get back in the Bible study and be around a positive group of friends, and hopefully if they're going to church, they're not going to be going to the bars too. So you don't want to continue to associate, with people that are going to keep going back to the bars. You want to have a group of friends that's got some good goals in life so that you can, kind of have the same type thing going on. Does that sound okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So let's make a couple of goals for this week